Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters. Dodgers and Rockies ready to begin a 4-game series, and Hyun-Jin Ryu finished with his warm-ups. Coming off of the 10-day DL to start this one. The series opener against the first place Rockies. Rockies with their best record through 35 games in franchise history, 22-13. Dodgers, meanwhile, have won 5 in a row, 10 of their last 12, and opened this series a game and a half back.
The streak started in San Diego, then a short homestand of 3 games where they won all 3, and now on to the Rock Show and then to San Francisco. Dodgers want to keep this going.
Some fun times in the dugout. There's Clayton Kershaw, who will start tomorrow night's game. And here come the Rockies. How about the Dodgers starting lineup for this series opener, brought to you by Honda. Back-to-back games with Jock Peterson, leading off with Andrew Toles, done for the season with the ACL injury. Familiar look 2 through 4, Seager, Turner, and Bellinger. Then it's Chris Taylor hitting 5th. Chase Utley back-to-back starts at first base. Puig is in right, and Austin Barnes does the catching and bats 8th. Jeff Hoffman was the key piece in the Troy Tulowitzki deal a couple of years ago. And so it was a big disappointment for Rockies fans when he didn't make the rotation out of spring training. And there were some people that immediately said, well, I guess we lost that deal if the kid can't even make the rotation. But put up good numbers in AAA and then was called up as the 26th man for the doubleheader against the Cubs Tuesday.
Really in that deal for Tulo because of his potential, is still grooming himself and the Rockies as a pitcher. Fastball, slider, curveball change when he got here. Now it's turning into more of a fastball curveball change. Slider is in there and out of there at times. And I'll tell you what, I think if he's going to be a starter in this rotation, it's actually going to reverse again, because the slider will play better in this ballpark and this altitude. And Bud Black, one of his influences since he came over here to the Rockies, is to get guys to keep the ball down and stay away from the curveball.
He pitched 2 days ago, Hoffman did, in that doubleheader. Only threw 18 pitches, so more or less a side session, like starters would do between starts. And now makes his first official start of the 2017 season in the big leagues. Peterson climbs in. We're ready to go. A beautiful night. Temperature in the low 60s. Hoffman threw his windup, and away we go with strike 1. This is the 6th meeting between these teams this year. The Rockies are 3-2, winning 2 of 3 here, the first road trip of the year for the Dodgers, and then the team split at Dodger Stadium. Breaking ball popped up, out of play, and it's 0-2.
It did look like the curveball second pitch. He's going to be about 95, 96 miles an hour with the fastball. Curveball is very hard. Slider can be about 86, 87 miles an hour.
Jock Peterson leading off against him and taking ball 1. Jock was 0 for 4 yesterday. And the 5-2 win over the Pirates, completing the 3rd sweep for the Dodgers out of the last 4 series, when you count the rain-shortened San Diego series. Down swinging to open the night.
First high fastball was really high. This one is well spotted. Looks nice and juicy to Jock, but just a little bit up and in to get the bat on it.
So Hoffman begins things with a strikeout and now faces Corey Seager. We've talked about it as this run has gone on for the Dodgers, winning 10 of 12, where the offense has been so good, but Seager's not really been a part of that. Starts him backwards, strike 1. Corey's 6 for his last 33. For the Dodgers, as good as anybody in baseball at scoring runs during that stretch. 1-1.
Interesting time to see the ball as a hitter, with the light coming through from the sunset. You got the shadows and then the brightness and then back to shadows.
slash foul, and it's 1-2. That shot we just showed from the first base side. I've heard Nomar talk before about how this park in particular is the very worst at this time of night for a first baseman.
It is right in Mark Reynolds' eyes over there. He's shading his eyes just to even see what's going on the other portion of the field.
A 1-2 to Seager, and that's up 2-2. Todd Helton once offered to use part of his salary to build a wall up there that would block the sun out at this time of day and help him out on the throws from the left side of the infield.
If a man gets on first, you really warn your pitcher about picking off over there.
Fouled off, still 2-2.
A lot of managing the running game when the sun is that bad for the first baseman is really about stepping off and varying your times. You really don't want to throw the ball over there and actually pick somebody off.
Jeff Hoffman to Corey Seager with another 2-2. Yanked wide of the bag and foul.
Really is a different vibe about this game early in the season and playing the Rockies. Fans are not quite in here yet into the ballpark with the 6:40 start, but the feeling between the two teams and the pregame interviews all about, is this a big series? And everybody's kind of downplaying it, but interesting that the topic even comes up.
Full count. The Rockies coming at 22-13. That's a half game off of the best record in the National League behind Washington. Dodgers are 20-14 on this 5-game winning streak. And Seager earns the walk. So the Dodgers have their first base runner of the night. West Division standings. Arizona's come back to earth some. The Giants, not just the worst record in the West, but the worst in the league.
You look at those standings, and the Rockies have really been carried by their pitching staff, believe it or not. The offense has really been down, and that gives a lot of people here in Denver and Colorado Rocky fans a lot of confidence that this could continue throughout the summer.
Runner at first with one gone for Turner. You know, the Rockies have had some good starts, some really good starts through a few weeks, but typically it's not lasted this long. This is the 5th time. The franchise is relatively short history, but only the 5th time that they've been alone in first this deep into the season. That one slipped out of his hand and missed for ball 1 on Turner. Rockies have the worst record in the National League over the last 6 years. At least 87 losses, at least 16 games out each of the last 6 years. 2-0.
Solid or fast starts in April have not been something that the Rockies they have done this a lot. It's just they can't continue it, and it seems like maybe the pitching gets worn down, or maybe the offense gets tired of scoring runs for the pitching that's been worn down. But their Aprils have been pretty solid throughout the years. Just combining Aprils with Mays and Aprils with Junes and Julys and August, they haven't been able to do.
See if Turner gets a ball to drive on 2-0 here in a scoreless first. Here it comes. Over the inside edge for a strike. But you're right, there is a feeling around here that this is for real, that this can last.
Hoffman attacking with his fastball to the first 2 hitters, both strikes looking. Took 3 pitches to get the first strike here on Turner.
With Seager at first, here comes a 2-1, and Turner fouls it back 2-2. Justin 0 for 2 last night, walked twice. That bruised calf still lingering some, but getting better. It was 1 week ago now, a little more than a week ago now. Justin has been hit as much as anybody in baseball, but he's a particularly bad bruiser. That's a bad combination. To crowd the plate the way he does and get hit as often as he does and bruise badly.
Sun is set enough now that Mark Reynolds can actually see the pitcher and see the pickoff. Doing a little manicuring out there. So not quite as glary. And no sun hitting Reynolds' face.
Coming inside for a 2-2. Turner fouls it off. Justin hitting .365, one of the best averages in the National League here in the first year of his big deal. Only one home run, but as high of a line drive rate as you'll find in baseball, among the league leaders in doubles, and has always been a slow starter as far as the home run totals go. Two. Got him.
You're really thinking with a guy who throws 96, make him get the fastball down, and Justin goes after one down slightly below the knees because Hoffman has shown that he wants to get you out up in the strike zone with his velocity.
Rockies get their first look now. Cody Bellinger, and everybody that does get ready to get their first look at Bellinger now around the press boxes, and we're going from town to town. It's the first thing they ask about. How about that Bellinger kid? Ball one.
Well, last year for these two teams, it's how about that Seager kid, or how about that Trevor Story kid? Seager not the hottest he's ever been right now, and Trevor Story has been moved to the disabled list. Off to like a 188 average for Trevor Story. So,
and again leading baseball in strikeout percentage. So a well-timed trip to the DL for Trevor Story. Seager at first with two gone, and a 1-0 pitch coming to Cody Bellinger. Out in front, 1-1.
Cody trying to get down to that breaking ball, actually takes a knee to get there, lowering himself as much as he could as he tracked that ball. Getting back to the Rockies' hot start, over the last 6 years, if you eliminate their Aprils, only 2 winning months. Other than their Aprils, get rid of April, and then from May on, the rest of the season, only 2 winning months. Dodgers had 5 winning months last year.
Well, that's how you wind up with the worst record in the league in that span. Hoffman's 1-1, and Bellinger takes a letter-high fastball, 2-1.
They have a winning May, which they're 6-3. It'll be the first time in a long, long time that they've had a winning April and a winning May.
Coming off win of 2 of 3 against the Cubs. Part of a 10-game homestand right now. A 2-1 pitch, and Bellinger watches it drift away. A change-up makes it 3-1.
Hoffman with 22 pitches now has shown every pitch to the Dodger order. The fastball, the curveball, the slider, and the change. They are making him work.
Fastball count for Bellinger with a man at first and 2 gone. Here comes Hoffman. 3-2.
Fastball right down the middle, just a little bit below it.
This will be the 24th pitch of this inning for Hoffman. Seager will take off with 2 gone and a full count pitch. Bellinger strikes out swinging, and Hoffman winds up getting 3 Ks in this first. Hyun-Jin Ryu takes the ball, and you come back. opener. Rockies coming to bat for the first time, and uncharacteristically of a Colorado offense, they are just a tick above league average as far as runs per game. Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado at the top. Mark Reynolds having a huge season in the cleanup spot. Desmond and Gonzalez, Valleca starting for Story tonight. And the newly acquired Ryan Hannigan batting eighth. Hyun-Jin Ryu off of the 10-day disabled list to make his sixth start. His last time out was one of his best starts and got his first win, Oral, in almost 1,000 days.
The last few starts, he's gone 11 1/3 innings, got an ERA of 1.58, so really starting to find himself. And you've got to expect that when you've been out for 2 years and haven't really pitched in the big leagues. The world is spinning a little bit out there. You're learning yourself. You're learning the league again. And I think Mr. Ryu is starting to find his legs, and hopefully everything is all healed up from that bruise or whatever he had from that slide that put him on the DL.
A left hip contusion officially. His first pitch of the day is a strike on Charlie Blackmon. And Blackmon and the Rockies very familiar with Ryu already. He's faced them out of his 5 starts. 2 have come against the Rockies. Lost both of those starts. Hurt by the long ball. 4 home runs. 1-1. Another good year for Charlie Blackmon. One of the most underrated outfielders in the game. Leadoff man, center fielder for the Rockies. Waiting on this 1-1 from Ryu. 2-1.
What you really appreciate with Blackmon is the fact that left-handed starter, right-handed starter, he's still up there grinding away, and he can hit them both. He'll probably start there right in that leadoff hole if nothing happens tonight against Clayton Kershaw tomorrow.
2-2.
We really are in a day of not the prototypical leadoff hitter when you think about 10, 15 years ago, or what in your mind should be that speedy guy that just tries to get on, work a walk, really good bunter, slasher. Now you're getting guys that are actually powerful and bigger, stronger guys. And organizations realizing that they want some of their better hitters with more power in that leadoff hole. Jock Peterson today for the Dodgers, Blackmon for the Rockies.
On 2-2. He takes strike 3 over the outside corner. That's how Ryu's night begins. 1 away.
Todd Titchener got a little look from Charlie Blackmon on this one. Wants the ball away, gets the ball away, and Pitchcast says, Charlie, Mr. Umpire was right.
Ryu struck out a season high 9 in that last start against the Phillies and picks up off that here to get Blackmon. And now it's LeMahieu, the reigning batting champ in the National League. Off to a really slow start this year, but has come back. Looks at strike 1. First 10 games for LeMahieu, hit 171, but above 300 since. He said that had this happened earlier in his career, rotten 10-game start, that might have ruined his entire season, but he's found a way to relax and put things into perspective as his career's gone on. Now in his 7th year, takes the ball and it's 1-1.
Well, once you have the formula of how to get it done, if you feel like you can work towards that formula, it gives you a lot of success and confidence. Boy, he knows the formula. This guy can really hit.
He waits on this 1-1. Slips out of Ryu's hand. 2 balls and a strike.
It does have to be a little disconcerting, though, when you look around the league. You see a guy like Andrew McCutchen, who we just saw, that kind of lost it in the blink of an eye. At times you think, okay, have I really lost it? Am I going to find it again?
The 2-1. That's in there, and it's 2-2.
Personalities on this Rocky team is the top of the order, especially a lot of grinders. Blackmon, LeMahieu, and an Arenado on deck. Seem like gym rats and baseball guys.
Slash foul. LeMahieu, quiet, soft-spoken guy, but adored by his teammates. Remember last year reading about Charlie Blackmon saying someone almost hit him recently. And Blackman reminded reporters, say the fastest way to make our whole clubhouse dislike you is to hit DJ LeMahieu intentionally. Quiet leader for the Rockies, who on 2-2 fouls another. Just played his former team. The Cubs drafted him out of LSU and debuted with the Cubs in 2011. You know, Theo Epstein's made move after move that's been perfect for that Cubs turnaround, but his very first move was perhaps his biggest mistake, and that was to trade DJ LeMahieu away. Traded him straight up for Ian Stewart. Another 2-2. The count goes full.
Dodgers on this roll, winning 5 games in a row, and with Ryu on the mound today, if they can find a way to win the day with Kershaw going tomorrow, that really makes it feel like you have a chance for an extended period of winning and a hot streak. You love it when Kershaw is not the stopper but the extender.
Maybe really making Ryu work, and of course, to your point, if the Dodgers can win this game tonight, Kershaw would be going, trying to put the Dodgers into first place. Deficit entering the series, a game and a half. Communicating with somebody across the diamond. And he walks him. So identical starts to the game for the starting pitchers, a strikeout and then a walk. And now it's Nolan Arenado, who last time he faced Hyun-Jin Ryu at Dodger Stadium took him deep twice.
Really good low ball hitter. You saw him elevate that one right there, and then the one right down the middle. Just a couple of mistakes. Ryu with some of the best swing and miss percentages in the big leagues, but when he has made mistakes, they've been hit very hard.
What's that come from with Ryu? Because you think swing and miss, you think power stuff, but I mean, he's throwing high 80s, sometimes touching 90.
I think it's coming from his curveball. If you really look and break down the data, the curveball has really been a better pitch for him this year as far as getting swings and miss and weak contact. One of the highest whiff percentages on a curveball in the big leagues, in the top 5 relating to the breaking ball in a lot of categories.
He lets the 1-0 fly, and Arenado takes ball 2.
You can officially call Hyun-Jin Ryu now a breaking ball pitcher in some ways. Almost any count, any situation. He is going to throw probably less than 50% fastballs. So you're going to see the curveball, the slider, or the changeup just as much as you're going to see the fastball.
Dangerous pitch. Well placed. Strike 1. Ryu, in his time in Korea, 7 pro seasons there, led the league in strikeouts in 5 of them. Granted, that was before the shoulder surgery, had better velocity, but still has never been a power guy. Base hit to right. The walk for LeMahieu, a single for Arenado, and they're at first and second with 1 gone.
Arenado owns left-handers this year. He's hitting .450 before that at bat with 6 homers, and right there just staying on that pitch, not trying to do too much, taking the base hit to right.
2 on with 1 gone, and it's Mark Reynolds, and what a story he's been for the Rockies this year. Signed him on a minor league contract just to see if there was anything left in the tank. Really is insurance free, and Desmond, who they signed to a huge deal to play first base. Well, as you know, Desmond breaks his hand during spring training, opens the door for Reynolds to make the roster. Here he is in mid-May having a career year. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Mark Reynolds is 3rd in the National League in both homers and RBIs.
It's never been a question of power. It's always been a question of contact. For something that they have found that makes him a better hitter. He's a better hitter in 2 strikes this year, which usually he was just flailing in 2 strikes.
Goes up and gets that one. A slow roller to Turner at 3rd. His only play is to first. 2 gone. So the runners advance to second and third, and with two gone, here comes the aforementioned Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond is a very vocal leader. One of the reasons they acquired him and asked him to change positions, but then with Reynolds' emergence, now Desmond had to change positions from that plan.
Playing the outfield for them primarily. It's his 9th game in the left. He started 2 at first. Activated for his season debut at the end of April after that hand injury in spring training. Strike one. Had to have surgery. Bounced back quickly, about a month and a half rehab, and now here he is. Batting 5th for the Rockies. Ninth major league year for 7 of those seasons with the Nationals, and then last year with the Rangers. Ryu brings him in 0-1. Ball 1.
Ryu feeling fresh coming off the 10-day DL. We're seeing quite a few pitches from 90 miles an hour to 91. He's been 88, 89, but there looks like there's a little life in him and some extension down the hill.
Two on, 2 out in a scoreless first inning. And Ryu's 1-1 is ripped down the left field line, a base hit. The Rockies take a 2-0 lead and a 2-out double from Desmond.
Hyunjin didn't get this pitch exactly where he wanted it. He wanted to go in off the plate, but he leaves it pretty much in on the inner half right there. It does look like it's going to hit the corner with pitch cast, but to Desmond it felt like it was down the middle. You hope a guy like that hooks that ball foul, but he kept it fair.
So the Rockies strike first here in the series opener, and with 2 gone, it's Carlos Gonzalez. Those numbers very un-Gonzalez-like. Ryu misses with the first one. Now Gonzalez, normally their cleanup hitter. They're asking around town here, when are we going to change that? You have Mark Reynolds, who's setting the world on fire, hitting 5th and 6th. You have Gonzalez hitting below 200, still hitting cleanup. The answer to the question is today finally dropped in the order. 2-0.
Cargo has not been doing well. Trevor Story hits the DL with a 188 average. DJ LeMahieu got off to the slow start. Those are 3 components they were really depending on. But Mark Reynolds, where Trevor Story was a lot of the offense last year, has really filled in for that gap. Now moving him up into a more integral part of the order. There's a look at Trevor Story, who's now watching from the injured side of things.
Three 3-0 on Gonzalez. Back home comes Ryu. And a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the inning. 2 on with 2 out for Pat Valaika.
Both lineups making the starting pitchers work in the first inning. Now Ryu up to 27 pitches. Hoffman had to work, but he got away with a 0. Ryu's got that 2 spot to pitch around now.
Valaika making the start at short today, only his second. A story going on the DL. From Valencia, California. Played his college ball at UCLA. Strike 1. Utility man, 5th start overall, and he's made him at short, at 3rd, and in the outfield. Debuted for the Rockies last year, and then has been back and forth between the big leagues and AAA here in his 2nd season. 0-2.
Couple of change-ups. First one at 80, that one at 82, had a little more depth.
to center field. Peterson on the move, still going. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. Jock Peterson in the deepest part of the yard pulls it in. But the Rockies get 2 runs on a double from Desmond, and after one, 2-0. Half of the second, we take a look at the Land Rover Performance Spotlight. And as he's gotten hot with the hitting, the walks have gone up as well. And he'd tell you that there's a direct correlation there. That is, that he's getting more hits. Pitchers have tended to be scared out of the zone. And if you're getting hits, it means you're probably seeing it well, leading to walks.
It all works hand in hand. When you get a lineup to do that, that's when hitting is really contagious. Professional at bat after professional at bat. Swinging at strikes, taking balls.
Taylor, Utley, and Puig here in the second against Jeff Hoffman. And Taylor takes strike one. So the walks have been a byproduct of the hits. And the hits have been a byproduct of more hard contact. Mike Petriello from MLB.com today, their lead writer, researcher in StatCast data, had a great note about how hard Taylor's hitting. Takes this one low, and it's 1-1. Taylor has the biggest jump in the number of hard hit balls in baseball from last year to this year. More than half of the balls that he's hit qualify as hard hit.
And as we watched him through this hot streak, it was pretty much the narrative. How can the Dodgers take him out of the lineup? He's in there just kind of as a spare part, and a guy who could fill in. Lost his job to Kike Hernandez as far as a role player off the bench coming out of spring training. But since he's been here in the big leagues, picked up right from where he was in spring training. He was one of the Dodgers' best hitters in spring training.
Average-wise, the best. 0-2. Hoffman gets him looking. All 4 outs recorded via the strikeout. 1 away in the second.
Jock Peterson on a high fastball. Justin Turner on a low fastball. Cody Bellinger on a fastball near the middle. And then that one right there painted the outside corner.
Hoffman now goes to work against the lone man in this lineup that's homered against him in his short career. That's Chase Utley. And Utley pulls a base hit to right. He's starting to look like himself again.
Early in the season, Chase was just non-existent. Now looking like Chase Utley. Justin Turner wasn't hitting for power. Now he's swinging the bat really good. Adrian Gonzalez was not up to snuff, and now the Dodgers are starting to look like themselves. Utley of last year, Turner of last year, and Gonzalez getting better on the DL.
Utley's coming off his first multi-hit game of the season last night, knocked it around with a single and with a double. And wastes no time jumping on Hoffman for a one-out single here to bring up Puig. Yasiel gets under one. In right field, Carlos Gonzalez for a quick second out. Tuesday night's hero, Austin Barnes. This is his lone at-bat of the series against the Pirates. Came up in the 10th inning and doubled home Ross Stripling. The first pitch that he saw. Fastball popped up. On the left side, Arenado and Valleca, and it's Arenado to make the catch and finish the inning. Dodgers with a one-out base runner each of the first 2 innings against Hoffman, but nothing else.
Inning, Hyunjin Ryu and the Dodgers finding themselves in a 2-0 deficit. We have a bit more clarity as far as the rotation for the remainder of the season. Time now for the T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball Break. We knew that Clayton Kershaw was going tomorrow. He'll face Tyler Chatwood. Saturday, it is now Alex Wood against Tyler Anderson, who was supposed to pitch today and was pushed to Saturday. Sunday, Julio Urias against Senzatella. Last night, Rich Hill had a tremendous performance in his rehab outings, guys, as he's trying to work his way back from that blister on the middle finger of his left hand. No hit ball, and Dave Roberts said he'll probably be pitching for the Dodgers against the Giants in San Francisco on Tuesday.
All right, Alana, Hyunjin Ryu delivers strike one to Ryan Hannigan. Good problems to have, but some things to solve for the Dodgers. Hannigan digs one out and starts the second inning with a single. We know it'll be Kershaw tomorrow night. We look at our Carl Scam. Clayton not bothered by that early morning flight. Appears to be having some fun so far tonight.
Seems to have an awful lot of energy, trying to occupy himself with playing a little catch there with Scott Van Slyke before the game. Bantering with somebody across the way and making some calls. Probably talking to the bullpen there. Josh Bard ordering a pizza for him or something down there in the bullpen.
Here's the 9-hitter, Jeff Hoffman. Lays it down. Barnes throws on the move to second, but it's off of Seager's glove, and everybody's safe. Right thought, but Barnes doesn't execute. And And the Rockies have him at first and second with nobody out.
A difficult play for Austin, but he makes a decent throw out there. Difficult play for Corey, and one way or the other, one could have made half of the play better. It would have got the out.
Ruler to air on Barnes, and for the top of the order, good opportunity for the Rockies here in the second. Blackman took strike three, called his first time. The lone K for Ryu once through the order. Ball one. It's funny, we were showing Kershaw on the phone there. Conversation we had with Bob Guerin before the game today. He was talking about one of his first days as a bench coach, and he had been a bullpen coach previously. But they were short on sunflower seeds or gum or something in the dugout, so he hopped on the phone and called down to the bullpen and said, hey, we can send a bat boy out there and get some supplies. It's a strike, it's 1-1. Didn't think anything of it. After the game, the bullpen coach said, don't you do that to us. In the third or fourth inning, the phone rings and everybody's freaking out. What do they need up?
There was nothing going on in the game. It's like, relax.
The 1-1 pitch, and Blackman fouls it off 1-2. Don't think you'd have to deal with that with Josh Bard. They're a pretty loose bunch down there.
There is something to having the right chemistry down there in the bullpen. Not only the right arms and the right ability, but guys that really understand their role and can pass the time. I'd just say correctly. I don't think it's always all business.
Barnes keeps it in the vicinity. Runners hang on.
Austin Barnes is so quick back there. Didn't do the best job blocking that baseball, but no matter where it gets away from him, he's going to get there in a hurry. The fact that this ball caroms towards third base holds the runner mostly, and his speed.
Old infielder growing up and at Arizona State, still plays some of it. 2 on and nobody out, and Ryu to Blackman with a 2-2 that's up to run it full.
Blackman with 8 home runs, 27 RBIs. That's the most in MLB for a leadoff hitter. So Ryu being careful, but it's hard to be careful with 2, 3, 4 coming up.
Already plenty of traffic on the bases around him. Struck Blackman out in the first inning, and here induces a ground ball foul. We'll do another 3-2. Are you ready for another payoff? Blackman fouls another. Charlie Blackman in his 7th major league season. First few years backing up Dexter Fowler here in Colorado. While he was dealing with injuries himself, it seemed like any time he'd get a chance to step forward and get more time, something unlucky would happen to him. Broke his foot rounding second in his first month in the majors. Dealt with some turf toe. Randomly got a staph infection in his knee at one point. But then Fowler departed. More natural opening, and he stayed healthy. Now in his 4th year as the everyday guy. Another 3-2, and he gets him swinging, chasing a breaking ball that was low and away.
41st pitch is a good one. An 8-pitch at bat that it takes to put Blackman away. Some off speed right there.
You're talking about the difference in leadoff men these days. Not worrying about putting a high power guy in that slot now.
Yep.
Just look at your lineup card, your score sheet so far. 2 Ks, both coming from the leadoff guy. First and second with 1 gone, and it's LeMahieu. Line to right. Puig is there. 2 out. Yes, heaves it back into the infield. Take any opportunity he can to let it fly. Up to Arenado with 2 out.
4-game series, but it just felt like with first and second no out that the Rockies were about to set the tone for this series. And Ryu doing a good job getting these first 2 outs of this inning and having no run score. Like to get yourself in the dugout against Bud Black's team right here. The ultimate goal for the Dodgers in this series is to leave this town in first place.
Have to win 3 of 4 to do that. Entering the series behind by a 1.5 games, but riding a 5-game winning streak. Ball 1 on Arenado.
Don't be surprised with Arenado's success that there ends up being bases loaded 2 out with Mark Reynolds hitting. I don't think Ryu really cares that it would load the bases if he pitches around Arenado.
Another opposite field base hit for Arenado. This will bring home 2 as it rolls all the way to the wall. 2 innings and 2 2-out, 2-run doubles for Colorado.
Some guys you really see well. Home runs the last time they saw each other. This time RBIs. Single and now a double with 2 out. Ryu's got to be tired of looking at Arenado in the batter's box.
So 4-0 Rockies lead. Reynolds does bat here in the second. Ball 1. I think the tone has officially been set, though.
And in 2 directions. One direction, the Rockies are in first place because of their pitching staff, not because of the offense. The offense has been sufficient. But now the Rockies saying, we'll even put the hammer down with the offense here.
2 balls, no strikes. Nowhere close from Ryu. Reynolds grounded out his first time on this 2-0. He cuts and misses. 2-1. Homered in 4 consecutive games on this homestand. Has 12 total this year. That puts him in a tie for 3rd in the National League. One of those 12 home runs was on a broken bat. A 2-1. High drive to the opposite field. Puig runs back on it at the track. It's off the wall. They'll stop with a long RBI single. 5-0.
Last 10 at bats, he's had 5 home runs and now 11 RBIs. This doesn't look like he gets all of it, but there's enough of that bottom hand as the top hand releases to maintain the bat speed and drive that ball to right center.
Five runs on 5 hits and 2 walks against Hyun Jin over 1 2/3. And Ian Desmond taking his strike. Up there for the second time in the first 2 innings. Started the scoring with his double. Came with 2 outs against Ryu in the first. You always talk about it, though, in this ballpark. You kind of have to do an equation that cuts the deficit in half to give it a real feel for how comfortable it actually is. 1-1.
You take this scoreboard with a grain of salt, especially the first 6 or 7 innings, but as the Rockies have improved that bullpen and they are really on top of their game, you don't want to be behind going into the 6th inning with this team. After 6, I think they are 18-0.
Reynolds takes off. Barnes can't hang on to it. Reynolds has a stolen base.
2 out. Don't take anything for granted. Going on first move.
It's his first steal of the year there.
Austin knew he had to really rush, and that's why I think he lost the handle.
Reynolds had 1 steal all of last season. Only 2 steals the year before. And they intentionally, with first base now open, put Desmond on and bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Strike 1. Looking at Mark Reynolds' baseball reference page here, just checking those stolen base totals. Can you believe that he stole 24 bases one year?
Was it when he was a young man?
He was 25. That was when he was with Arizona. 1-1.
Before he put some weight, some muscle on.
Breaking ball pounded to right. That'll bring home another as it gets by Puig. They give Desmond the wave as well. 2 runs will score, and it's 7-0 Rockies in the second.
This ball is up and kind of flat. Cargo, who walked in his first at bat, just waylays on that one. It's so hard it scoots by Yasiel Puig for that double and those couple RBIs. Rick Honeycutt out for a visit. .54 pitches right here, and the game a little bit out of whack. I'm not sure the Dodgers would want to go to the bullpen no matter what the effectiveness of Ryu right now. See, all is quiet down there. Probably going to push him to his pitch count. 80-90 pitches no matter what. Protect the bullpen for the rest of the series. It's one of the things you have to do in this ballpark. You have to really know that even coming out of the bullpen with the Rockies seeing the ball really well right now, you might not get outs there, and so you've got to get as many pitches, as many outs as out of your pitchers as you can.
Ryu's now given up 13 runs against the Rockies this year in 12 2/3. A breaking ball for a strike on Valleca.
So close to getting out of this inning with just a 2-0 deficit, excuse me.
All 7 runs have scored with 2 outs. 2 in the first and 5 here in the second. Valleca fouls it off with a glove, and it's 0-2.
You have a leadoff single, and then you have the error by Austin Barnes. Could have been 1 out and a man on second. Then he strikes out Blackman. That's 2 out. All these runs are going to be unearned.
Valleca tries to lay off and does. Ball 1.
So you have the error, the strikeout, and the fly out to right. That the inning would have been over.
Yeah. Barnes sets the target over the inside, and Ryu misses by the feet. 2-2.
The Dodgers are going to win this one. You're going to have to buckle up and get ready for an exciting comeback. And there's plenty of time in this ballpark.
Seen it before.
I've seen some crazy games here.
Full count.
30 pitches in the first inning. This will be the 30th pitch of this inning.
It's a 3-2, and Valaika takes high, ball 4. He's 7 runs allowed, by the way. Tied for the second most in Hyun-Jin Ryu's career. Gave up 8 runs against San Francisco in his first start in 2014. Gave up 7 at Detroit later that year, for the most since. They've batted around. Hannigan started this inning a couple hours ago with a single to center. Trying to inject a little bit of humor in what's not a very fun series so far.
It feels like the series. We're in the middle of the series.
Seven runs on 6 hits and 4 walks. 2 on and 2 out.
First inning flew by.
Yeah, that one breezed by in 30 minutes. 1-1.
Only 54 pitches, though.
First of 4 between the teams this weekend here in Denver. Rockies have won 3 of the first 5 this year. Won 11 of the last 16 in this ballpark. Hannigan lines back to Ryu, who squeezes it and squeezes the life out of the inning after the Rockies get 5 against him and lead 7-0.
Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
Tonight on an all-new episode, Backstage Dodgers. Go behind the scenes as Vin Scully returns to Dodger Stadium for his Ring of Honor ceremony. Joe, you finish this.
All right, you can take a look back at Vin's visit to the White House to receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Hankook Tires tonight right after the post-game show on Sportsnet LA.
That's something in my throat. I apologize.
Now, we can be honest with the people. Anytime you hear us laughing and you're wondering why, it's because our producer, Mike Levy, pretty funny guy. Hyun-Jin Ryu takes strike 1 to get this 3rd inning going. He actually cued Vin to begin walking in that video in our ear.
He got me.
I heard. 0-2. So Ryu hitting for himself. That means questions answered whether or not there's any thought of him coming out of the game. But you said it, when it's already 7-0, there's no use in burning the bullpen.
There is not a use, and they just need him to go out there, maybe give him 2 more innings, maybe another 30 pitches. You know, when you're coming back off the DL, plus coming back from what he did to start this season, great performance and great rehab coming back from spring training. Still got to get his baseball legs under him.
Take strike 3. Hoffman already with 5 punch outs, 1 away. Hoffman over from the Blue Jays. He was the 9th overall pick in the draft a couple years ago. I mean it when I say a couple. He was drafted in 2014. Went 9th overall, but that was only because he had Tommy John surgery 2 months before the draft. There's a good chance he was going to be one of the first 2 or 3 picks. Second trip through. See if the Dodgers have any better luck this time. Jock Peterson taking ball 1.
Success stories like Hoffman having surgery in your final year of college, maybe even your final year of high school, and then all of a sudden you still can make it to the big leagues. That increases the draft value of those kids that end up with sore elbows before the draft.
2-1.
Dodgers with Walker Buehler. Same scenario. Walker's throwing the ball fantastic now for the Dodgers in the minor leagues. Got huge upside.
Hoffman to Peterson with a 2-1 pitch. Fouled off 2-2. You got to work with Walker quite a bit during spring training this year.
Got to hang with him a lot. He's a great kid with an amazing talented arm. Electric. Can touch 100 miles an hour. Probably will pitch somewhere around 96, 97. Can really spin a baseball and has great ability to have some finesse also as far as changing speeds.
Full count. It's really an embarrassment of riches when it comes to starting pitching prospects in this system right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of great arms in our minor league system, and at all the different levels, not just at AAA or AA ready to bust through to be a big leaguer. There's all the way up and down.
Jock lays off, and that's a 1-out walk. Yeah, to start the year, you looked at the rotation in A-ball, and a lot of people A-ball. Why are you starting him there? But that was a reflection of what you had in AA and AAA.
I had a chance to put the uniform on in spring training. Went over to the minor league side every day and watched side works of 20, 30 guys, and would always talk to our pitching instructors over there or somebody from management and say, okay, where's that guy going to start? AA, AAA? No, he might be in high A, but probably low A. I'm like, what? These guys are blowing like 93 to 96 miles an hour, and I'm like, where? And can spin it a little bit. You're not going to have a refined product, but when you can see the spin, you can see that they can throw a decent changeup 1 out of every 3. You can see 94 miles an hour coming out of their hand with some life, and you go, that can develop at AA easy.
And on to Corey Seager. Hit foul, and it's 0-2. Corey walked his first time. Obviously a product of the Dodger minor league system himself. Homegrown shortstop of the present and the future for this franchise. Dodgers took him 18th overall out of high school in North Carolina in 2012. Peterson at first with 1 away, and Hoffman to the plate with an 0-2. Seager down on an elevated fastball. Already 6 punch outs for Hoffman.
Hoffman is locating this power fastball. He's shown it up and in. He's shown it low and away. He's shown he can get ahead with it.
Struck Turner out his first time. Dodgers have had a one-out base runner against Hoffman in all 3 innings, but yet to advance him to second.
Sometimes when you get in at 4 in the morning, people say, well, it doesn't hit you the first day, it hits you the second day when you didn't get your regular rest. Sometimes I think it just depends on how the opposing pitcher is throwing the ball. You can always come up with a narrative, not an excuse. Oh, they got in at 4, didn't get to really get to bed, and you know the guy's throwing 96, and our bats felt like we were swinging underwater. They got to get above the water to get back in this game.
Here's an 0-1. Turner pulls a base hit down the left field line. Desmond over to cut it off and prevent Peterson from thinking about heading home, but a 2-out single for Justin Turner has him at the corners.
Let's take a look at a Morongo Casino slow-mo cam. Resort and Spa there giving us a look at Justin Turner's base hit down the line here with 2 outs, and the 2-out RBIs the Rockies have been getting. The Dodgers now need to get some of those to pull back into this game early.
And this 2-out chance comes for Cody Bellinger, who had some pitches to hit his first time up, but unable to drive any of those fastballs that he got. Here comes Hoffman. Starts him with a breaking ball. Strike 1. Hoffman, 24 years old, one of the young pieces of the youngest rotation in baseball, but he's 3 years older than the guy at the plate. Here's his 0-1. 0-2.
Only Hoffman's 7th big league start. Got 6 last year. This is his first one of the year this year. He's showing that he's not a finished product, but he's really close. Tell you what, he's throwing the ball very, very well. And if you show fastball command, you can wait for the secondary stuff to come around. But we've already seen him spin the ball really well.
Trying to strand a pair here in the 3rd. Back home 0-2, and Bellinger fouls it off. It's a testament to how much young pitching they have in this Rockies system right now that Hoffman started the season in AAA. I mentioned it, the youngest rotation in the majors. They average 24 years old. Senzatella, Marquez, both 22. Kyle Freeland, who the Dodgers have seen twice, he's 23. Hoffman, one of the veterans, at 24.
They want a curveball down here.
They get it, but so does Cody to stay alive.
You really have to concentrate on location when you're going to throw a curveball at this altitude. It really is not about trying to spin it harder and, oh, I can throw a great one. You really want to just try and throw a nice solid one, but make sure the trajectory out of your hands is headed down. Just not enough air if you throw it level or slightly up for you to break it still.
Going up on 0-2 and getting him swinging. Hoffman strikes his way out of trouble. 7 Ks through 3 shutout innings.
Find out if you're a Dodger good luck charm and purchase a 5-game weekend plan starting at $20 per ticket. If the Dodgers win all 5 games you pick, you win 2 tickets to Fan Appreciation Day, September 24th, and be recognized in a group photo on the field. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
On the Dodger blue in the crowd tonight, looking for something to cheer about. Rockies with 7 2-out runs against Hyun-Jin Ryu. 9-1-2 for Colorado in this inning. And Hoffman takes a strike. You saw there that he reached on an error his first time. That error meant that all 5 runs for the Rockies in the second were unearned. Oh, 2.
And these 2-out RBIs in this game and 5 for 9 with runners in scoring positions, kind of skewing the Rockies stats, but their offense has not been very loud this year, so you start to make them look like themselves of the past.
1 gone. Ryu's 3rd punch out. We were talking a little bit during our chat with the pregame show before this one, but this is not your typical Rockies team. And when you look at it by OPS plus and ERA plus, so basically just look at the rankings there. What this is it's taking ERA and it's taking OPS. It's putting it on a scale where 100 is average, anything above average, anything below average. We talk about this relatively often now, but the big thing when it comes to the Rockies is that these categories also adjust for the ballpark. So when you adjust for the fact that they play in the best hitters park in baseball, the pitching has been 2nd best in the NL, while the hitters have been 4th worst. Blackman grounds to Taylor. 2 up, 2 down.
And really, that is not good news for the rest of the division or the rest of the National League, because the Rockies are probably going to hit. This is a very good lineup of guys that have produced. They're going to return to their form unless they have major injuries. The only one that you can say so far, Trevor Story, sitting on the DL now, who made a big impact last year as a rookie. And then this pitching staff and the change in the bullpen. The bullpen ERA as of right now in the short sample is a point lower than it was last year. Bullpen last year for the Rockies, it was over 5, just barely.
Worst in baseball as LeMahieu takes ball 1.
It's down about 3.97 or so. And the rotation, as young as you have told everybody is a half a point lower than it was last year. And we're a little over a month into the season.
That's on the ground is 2nd, and the first 1, 2, 3 inning of the game for Hyun-Jin Ryu. See if the offense can get it going. Down 7-0. Brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. And by Jack in the Box.
Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich, only at Jack in the Box. This date, 1963, on a Saturday night at Dodger Stadium. Sandy Koufax against a Giants lineup that included 3 Hall of Famers, Mays, McCovey, and Cepeda. Throws a no-hitter, his second in Pro 1 in 4 consecutive seasons. Dodgers down 7-0. We go to the 4th, and Chris Taylor takes a slider for a strike from Hoffman.
Sandy continues to be a Hall of Famer to this day, and I don't mean just the election into the Baseball Hall of Fame, just as a person and a mentor to so many, including the great Clayton Kershaw, who will take the mound tomorrow for the Dodgers. Clayton doesn't even describe Sandy as a pitching coach or somebody who's helped him with his pitching, just as a great friend.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2. It was one of 6 Dodger no-hitters against the rival Giants. 3 of them since the teams moved west. The Giants have not thrown a no-hitter against the Dodgers since 1915. All of those meetings, no no-hitters. Taylor cracks his bat on a roller to short. And the throw to first is in time to get him. Nice play by Pat Valaika for the first out of the 4th.
Bob Guerin on the Dodger bench will probably take a quick phone call on this one. We'll take a look here. Looks like he's out. Mark Reynolds with a nice little backhanded scoop. Broken bat. Taylor doesn't take the disappointment in the lack of hustle. He flies down the line.
One gone. Here's Utley. Singled on the first pitch that he saw, and Chase is now 4 for his last 6 with a walk. He's reached in 5 of his last 7 trips up there. Swings at the first pitch here. A little pop up to Desmond and left. 2 up, 2 down.
The Koufax no-hitter in '63. He was perfect going into the 8th. 2 years later in '65, he did throw a perfect game.
And Vin called a perfect 9th inning.
Yeah.
Some say the best baseball writing ever. The 9th inning of that perfect game in written form. And he did it without a backspace button. Strike 1 on Puig. Fly to right his first time. On this 0-1. Checks his swing, but they say that he offered, but it's 0-2.
7 strikeouts of the Dodgers so far tonight, but this would be the first inning that Hoffman doesn't get a strikeout if Puig can battle from this 0-2 count.
Ball 1. 2 in the first and 5 in the second for the Rockies, backing Hoffman. All 7 runs against Ryu, coming with 2 out. A 1-2 pitch to Puig. Fastball poked off the end of the bat. LeMahieu at second gets him and completes a 1-2-3 inning. That's the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for Hoffman. Nolan Arenado to lead off the fourth inning for the Rockies. As we take a look at our Volkswagen replay, we showed you these before it came up last time. 2 home runs against Ryu when he faced him at Dodger Stadium in April, and then in his first debut in this one, an opposite field 2-out 2-run double.
He is really seeing Ryu well. Engine has not made good pitches to him, though. The home runs were mistakes on the inner half and one down the middle, and then these other ones have been elevated, these hits.
Now 8 for 14 against him with 2 home runs and 3 doubles, and he takes a breaking ball 1-0. A game where he hit the 2 home runs against Ryu at Dodger Stadium. They had an off day before that. Nolan's from Southern California, Lake Forest. It's a 1-0. That's down and in 2-0. Used his off day in LA to go down to Lake Forest and work on his swing in the cage with his dad and his old high school coach, because he had been struggling some. Didn't hit well during the World Baseball Classic. Wasn't quite himself the first couple weeks of the year. That bounces 3-0, but he worked on staying behind the ball, unlocked a couple of things in his swing, and the next day hit those 2 home runs, working with dad and coach. Three and 1. Three and 2 out in front of an off speed.
Spun himself right in the ground right there. These guys come out of that with twisted ankles where there's pain. Those were twisted ankles.
He walks. The 5th Ryu walk of the game. It's tied for a career high. Walked 5 in one of his first months in the majors at Atlanta in 2013, and he's walked 5 and 3+ here.
He'll shake his head about those walks, and he'll shake his head about all the 2-out hits, thinking that I'm really close to pitching well, but error behind the plate on a possible sacrifice bunt, and then a bunch of walks and 2 outs not getting in the dugout.
Ball 1 on Reynolds. RBI single his last time. 31st run knocked in for Reynolds. It's 3rd in the National League. 1-1.
Ryu's last 2 starts were 2 of his best before this one, and going on the 10-day DL. Through 96 and 93 pitches, so I think Dave Roberts is going to extend him right up there to the 100 mark, no matter what the score.
2-1 certainly can help. Obviously, your arm stay fresh, missing a start like that as he nursed that left hip contusion. But can you lose it that quickly too if you're feeling good?
Well, when all of a sudden the caliber of your bullets changes and you feel really refreshed, you've been building up with your strength and your arm strength and your health into the start, you can become a thrower instead of a pitcher.
Left center field, Bellinger cruises under it for the first out of the inning. So sometimes you can feel too good.
Yeah, because you all of a sudden change your priority list. The feeling too good makes you think that you can throw the ball by the hitter, so you don't concentrate as much on location. You go out there with a little tender arm or maybe a slightly sore back or hip, and you're like, wow, I really can't generate a lot of velocity tonight, but I'll really just make sure I hit my spots. Go out there and hit your spots. That's what's known as a pitcher. You go out there and throw it as hard as you can and spin it as best you can because you feel really strong, and that's a thrower. Those guys get hit around.
Ian Desmond bangs one down the right field line, foul. Yet to retire Desmond tonight. 2-run double in the first, and then walked intentionally and scored in the second.
If anybody wants to send me an article on Twitter that has a pitcher quoted as after the game saying, "I had really good location tonight, but I got bombed."
Desmond gets hit. And now a hit batsman to go along with those 5 walks.
This is not on purpose. Fastball up and in. Ryu just overthrows it, pulls it in there. If there was any intimidation factor wanting to realign or readjust the home plate and what's inside and outside, he'd have done it a lot sooner than that one right there.
Your point about that the Twitter link is that you're not going to find a pitcher that's
No, you're not going to find somebody said I had great location and I still got hit around. You're going to find plenty of guys saying I had really good stuff and I can't believe I got beat. Go back and check the tape, look at the location. You're going to see why you got beat.
Ball on Gonzalez.
Looked like a strike though.
Thought so. 5 and 6 in the order have reached all 5 times. Gonzalez a walk and a 2-run double himself. On the ground, base hit to left center. They give the wave to Arenado. The throw goes to third. Not in time. RBI single for Carlos Gonzalez, and it's 8-0.
Cargo not hitting very well, but this is a good piece of hitting. A high fastball away, just hits it where it's pitched and beats the shift.
Gonzalez started this month of May 2 for 24 coming into this game, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. First and third, one gone, and Pat Valaika. Backdoor breaking ball for a strike. And again, there may be folks sitting around saying, why is he still in? You just don't gain much by taking him out at this point other than burning that bullpen.
Yeah, you just have to grin and bear it or frown and bear it. Note there's 3 more games here in this environment. Your offense happens to climb back into it. You start looking for matchups and looking for ways to prevent runs. But right now they're looking for ways to eat innings.
So safe to say the focus has shifted to the series when it's an 8-0 hole at this point versus the game.
You have to have a long-term perspective.
Valaika with a floater to the right field corner. That'll sink in. Another base hit. Read beautifully by Gonzalez. He's stopped at third on an RBI double from Valaika. 9-0 Rockies.
Ball wanted to be down and in, left it up a little bit and over the middle of the plate, able to extend his arms and just kind of drop it down here in the right field corner. Ryu's the second hitter of next inning. If they stick with him here, it's really going to be about trying to get 5 innings out of him. Keep his pitch count under 110.
9 runs, a career high. Not all of them earned, but total runs in an outing. Ryu's never given up 9. Career high in runs, career high in walks. Closing in on a career high in hits allowed in an outing. Right now he's just desperate for it to end. Infield in as the 8-hitter Ryan Hannigan stands in. Barnes stops it, ball 1.
So hard to sit through a game like this for Dave Roberts, Rick Honeycutt. Sit there and not think about winning a game, but thinking about surviving a game to be ready for tomorrow. The fortunate thing is Clayton Kershaw on the mound tomorrow. you're expecting to at least get 7 out of him. That gives you some comfort in protecting the bullpen, but you still have got the outs you've got to get here in this game.
That's Bill Miller, the crew chief out there, who is now in a conversation with Chase Utley, the intermediary between him and Ryu right now.
I think they're talking about maybe Ryu went to his mouth on the mound on the rubber.
They're going to bring Brian as interpreter out. They say, Dave Roberts, you have to stop at the baseline. Brian, you can come out. This does not count as a visit.
Right. Ball. He's got the ball in his glove. He's fine. Just his cap.
I don't see it.
I don't see what he's talking about.
And now they've just called a ball.
You can't argue a balk either.
From bad to worse.
Stepped off, calls time, goes to his mouth. He stepped off with his back foot. I don't get it.
3-0. No argument from Dave Roberts. He got an explanation before the balk. Whatever it was they were initially warning him on. And a 4-pitch walk to Hannigan.
All right, he's on the rubber. Step back. That's he started his windup.
Yeah,
he started his windup right there. He didn't step off.
Josh Fields getting loose. And Jeff Hoffman pitching with a huge lead here. Taking ball 1. Most runs the Dodgers have allowed in a game this year, 13. Giving up 10 over 3 1/3 in this one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Best ERA in the majors coming in as a team. One and 2. That's strike 3 for the second out of the 4th.
No replay necessary when you strike out the pitcher on a fastball down 10-0 in the 4th. Just trying to grit through this if you're Ryu.
10 runs on 8 hits, 6 walks, a hit batsman, and a walk. Ugly soup. Back to the top of the order. Charlie Blackmon's 4th trip up there over the first 4 innings of this game.
The only thing wrong with that example is I like ugly soup. This doesn't taste good at all. My wife makes a really good ugly soup.
I didn't know that was actually a food.
It is. Huh. It's like where you empty the whole ice box.
2-2. Blackman, the only guy in the lineup that hasn't either driven in a run or scored a run. 7 of the 9 Rockies have scored at least once. All the run production coming from the middle of the order, at least 2 through 7. 98th pitch from Hyun-Jin Ryu. Ball 1.
I see Austin Barnes with his targets, and I know you want to continue to get people out, but in some ways I wouldn't use the out pitches that you want to get people out with in the rest of the series. I wouldn't show any part of your scouting report, really. Just go with the pitcher's strength if you can find one.
That's foul. Mini slump going for Blackman here. 1 for his last 12 with the 0 for 3 so far tonight. 100 pitches over 3 2/3 for Hyun-Jin Ryu. 2-2.
And these are strenuous pitches when you're down and you're just out there for your own ball club to try and get through it. This is a lot of work in the midst of a bad mood.
Up the middle, Taylor's got it across his body to get him to finish the inning. For the Rockies add 3, and Hyun-Jin's night likely comes to an end. The worst start of his career.
Their best start through 35 games in franchise history. 9 games above 500, the latest in a season. The club has been 9 games over since 2010. Despite the 10 runs tonight and good offensive performance throughout this season, Nolan Arenado credits somebody else.
But our pitching's been unbelievable. Our bullpen, it's just been nice to have these young rookie pitchers come in and be confident and be themselves. And you know, in Denver in the past, it hasn't really been like that. So it's really nice to have that right now.
Yeah, who would have thunk it that you could actually pitch at Coors Field?
Yeah, everyone says that, but these rookies are making it look easy.
And guys, the young guns are getting it done. Kyle Freeland and Antonio Senzatella have combined to give the Rockies 10 quality starts in their 14 total starts, and the offense really even hasn't clicked yet.
All right, Alana, Austin Barnes leading off this inning against Hoffman, taking ball 1.
And don't think that Bud Black doesn't have a lot to do with that. Handling this pitching staff and handling the mentality of young pitchers.
Barnes turns this one around to straightaway center field. Blackman on the track has it for the first out of the 5th. Ryu's night officially over as Scott Van Slyke is introduced as the pinch hitter with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and the Rockies in front by a bunch. Dave Roberts and Hyun-Jin through Bryant. 5 of those 10 runs earned. The 10 runs total, the most he's allowed in a game in his career in the majors. 1-0.
You really know when a manager has the pulse of his team and is always communicating with his players. When in the midst of a game like this, he can sit down next to Hunjin, take his hat off, and talk to him respectfully right in front of the TV cameras. That means that there's so much equity with Dave Roberts and his players that most managers, a lot of times when things go bad or players going through a tough time or there's an anger or something explodes, managers wait until they get away from the cameras, get up the tunnel in their office, closed door meeting.
Van Slyke hits it hard as well. Blackman back on this one, and it's gone. Scott Van Slyke hits his second home run of the season, and the Dodgers on the board against Hoffman. Good to see for Van Slyke, fresh back from the minors.
There's an underground cage here right next to the Dodger locker room. And Van Slyke was in there when the second bus arrived today, and he was grinding away at his swing. And that work has paid off. Really coiled up, got compact, and then extended out in front of the plate there to powder that one out of here.
So a 10-1 game in the fifth, and back to the top of the Dodge order with Jock Peterson.
Just to finish the thought on Dave Roberts, it's amazing that he can pretty much communicate anytime he wants.
Peterson beats the shift.
Shoot, I'm going to keep telling this story, and I hope they keep interrupting me with hits.
Go ahead.
It's turning this thing around. That man right there, he is constantly talking with his players and keeping them on the page that they need to be on. Not their page, but the organizational's page, and players appreciate his honesty.
It's the first run against Rockies pitching in 13 innings. Shut the Cubs out yesterday 3-0. Had held the Cubs, or had held the Dodgers without a run through 4 today. Ball one on Seager. It's amazing how Dave Roberts is able to keep that up with all 25 men on the roster seemingly every day. He gets the pulse of each one of his guys. It's like a pinball machine, watching him work the clubhouse and work the field during batting practice. 1-1. Somebody has direct access to our field microphone. Seager's ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and two. You know, in the minors, we were our own engineers too on the broadcast. So you did media relations, you broadcasted the games, but he also engineered it. So we would set up a wireless microphone, just one single wireless microphone behind home plate to get the sounds of the cracks of the bats and everything. I would get so mad when people would sit over that microphone, and a lot of times they'd sit by it and think, what is this? And you'd have kids pick it up and talk into it, and that obviously goes right over our broadcast. 2-2. Seager flies one to center, takes off on Blackman, who still runs back and pulls it in for the second out. Then kept on carrying. Peterson back to first. Take a look at the Arco top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco, as Blackman shows good range here.
Well, this ball, there's wind a little bit blowing in. It's kind of swirling. Blackman taking an odd circuitous route to this ball.
Close.
So close. Can you help me?
Circuitous.
Thank you. That's my Bowling Green education. I got it right on the SAT because they write it out and you just check off, you know, the word.
What one you think, right?
Yeah.
There's one time an usher picked up the wireless microphone. I'm watching the usher, you know, looking out of the booth, looking down right behind home plate at this. Usher was on the road. They're in Jacksonville. Watching him look at the microphone, like, what is this doing here? Because not every team would bring a wireless mic like that. And he picks it up. He looks at it. This is mid-inning. I can hear him handling the microphone, and he walks off with it.
Oh no.
Justin Turner pops it up down the line. Reynolds at first has it. The inning is over. Honest to God, I never saw the microphone again. Some ushers got my wireless microphone.
Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota time is going on now. Get incredible deals on a fuel-efficient RAV4 hybrid.
Some defensive moves. Chris Taylor goes from second to third as Justin Turner comes out of the game. Utley slides from first to second, and the move that creates that domino effect is Scott Van Slyke pinch hitting, staying in the game and playing first. Ryu's night comes to an end. Josh Fields comes on in a 10-1 game here in the fifth.
Josh Fields, who started as a closer in the big leagues, he got his first save in a long time. Got his first save on Friday. You have to go back to September 9th, 2014 to find his one before that.
Faces DJ LeMahieu to open the fifth inning. And starts him with a breaking ball, strike one. Rockies 2 in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the fourth. The offense, which has been just about league average, has come alive here in the series opener. It's popped foul and it's 0-2. Came into the game averaging 4.7 runs per game. League average is 4.6. So even though they play in this ballpark, offense has not been the calling card over the first month plus. It's been good enough, but it's been the pitching that's carried the Rockies to the best record through 35 games in franchise history. That one's foul. Talked about LeMahieu winning the batting title last year. The .348 average. That was the highest average in the majors in 6 years. A bit of controversy around it, though. Walt Weiss sat him most of the final week of the season, preserved that batting average title. As a guy that he was duking it out with was Daniel Murphy. Murphy was shelved with an injury down the stretch. And so when he was up by 1 point over Daniel Murphy, that's when they pulled the plug and sat on that average to win the title.
It's not always the player or the manager's decision. Sometimes it's even an organization's decision because they need something to help draw fans. And to have the guy win the batting title is something that helps the Rockies feel relevant here in town. something to rally around.
Doesn't it draw fans to play the guy, though, that's going for the batting title?
Yeah, if you're thinking about that year compared to the next year.
Digs that one off of the plate. Chucks on Seager at short. 1 out. Start your weekend off with a bang at Dodger Stadium Friday, May 19th, when the Dodgers take on the Marlins early on in the upcoming homestand. After the game, you can sit on the field and enjoy Friday night fireworks themed to living in the 80s. It's presented by Denny's. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions for more. Yet to retire Arenado. 2 hits and a walk, and he's scored 3 runs. Curve ripped down the left field line, but a ton of hooking action to it. Strike 1. It's road trip 4 here in Colorado, then 3 in San Francisco. And that fireworks night, the second game in a 10-game homestand. 4 with the Marlins, 3 with the Cardinals, 3 with the Cubs.
As baseball fans around the nation, okay, the Rockies are doing really well. Who's their MVP? Most of them would say this guy. Really, it's the guy on deck. Mark Reynolds. He's the one to get the most votes right now. All of a sudden, you had to pick a Rocky MVP, even a National League MVP. Be right there.
Bouncing ball to Van Slyke at first. He feeds Fields. 2 out. Yet Reynolds probably stands no chance to make the All-Star team even with the first baseman in the National League. That may be harsh to say stands no chance, but he's certainly not going to start.
Could be somebody that gets named later.
One of the final vote candidates.
Yeah, they'll rally the votes around here for him.
Fields trying to work a perfect 5th inning, and Reynolds cutting in a fastball and missing strike 1. Started to change his approach 2 years ago when he was in St. Louis. Always been a high homer, high strikeout guy. Still is to an extent, but a much higher contact rate. He's found certain counts, certain situations to cut down on that big swing. It's 1-1.
It's almost like some of these hitters that once you hit a ball that hard and that far, as they are capable of hitting it, that they get addicted to it and they just can't let it go. It's possible, it's in there, and they just keep chasing it. And what they end up chasing is the baseball and striking out a lot.
And at the end of the day, guys like that live with that because their value is in their ability to homer, which he's done 285 times in his career.
This is definitely the thing that has gotten him opportunity after opportunity, even with the strikeout totals being what they are.
There's a 1-1 from Fields. 1 misses. 2-1. Led the league in Ks 4 consecutive years. That included a season in 2009 where he struck out 223 times. It's a major league record. Base hit to center, but a lot more of that the last couple seasons from him.
That's just a good piece of hitting. That doesn't look like somebody who ever struck out 223 times. He was short to the ball. He got his hands on top of the high fastball. The barrel didn't drop.
Runner at first with 2 gone in a 10-1 game, and Ian Desmond climbs in. Dodgers yet to retire him tonight. Double, intentional walk, and he was hit. Field starts him with a strike. Desmond drafted by the Montreal Expos. Debuted there and moved with the team to Washington. He's the last remaining Expo to still be on the Nationals before he went to Texas for last season. 0-2. And this year, 5 years, $70 million deal to come here and play first. But we've detailed how that has changed. Reynolds so good at first with Desmond out with the injury. He's become a utility man for them.
Amazing you mentioned the Montreal Expos. Wow. September of 1983. That's where I got my first big league out as a call-up. Dodgers were in Montreal.
Great baseball city, right?
When they were winning. Yeah. But they did not follow that team very well when they were just playing baseball, not playing baseball for a championship.
First game in this ballpark was Rockies Expos. In the mid-90s. Fields pitches another 0-2, and Desmond flips one into center that will go off of Peterson. Reynolds goes to third, and Desmond goes into second.
It's a nice effort by Jock Peterson out there. Game like this, playing really deep. Ball carries here at Coors. These are a lot of the hits that you see. Full swings off the end of bats with outfielders playing deep. They used to call those Texas leaguers here in Colorado. I don't know what they call them, but the Texas leaguers, the outfielders had to play so deep because of the wind and the dry conditions, and then balls would fall in front of the outfielders.
Here's Gonzalez. Walk, double, single. Bouncing ball to first. Van Slyke has it with a nifty backhand, and he feeds Fields to end the inning. A scoreless inning of relief for Josh Fields in a 10-1 game. For the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, the Dodgers have played the second easiest schedule in baseball so far and have taken advantage of those opportunities against sub-500 teams. 14-5 against teams below 500, while they've gone 6-9 against teams that are 500 or better. But they will pay the piper, so to speak, over the next month plus. 29 of the next 36
against 500 or better. Cody Bellinger leading off the 6th inning and taking a ball from Hoffman.
Doing what they need to do, beating up on the weaker teams. They will have a new yardstick to be measured by here in the near future.
2-0.
These Rockies have started that.
And then there's another little break as far as tough competition by record, because the Giants and the Marlins are both below 500. After those two series, 25 consecutive games against teams with at least a 500 record. 3-0.
Usually means better pitching, better defense, teams that don't give games away, strong bullpens.
Three and one. They've won 5 in a row, 10 of 12, but all those games against teams below 500. On 3-1, Bellinger fouls it off. 3-2. Like you said, though, it's part of the equation, taking care of business against the teams you should.
They played the Cubs when the Cubs were starting to play well. Now they're not playing as well. Sometimes it's the rhythm of the season too. When you catch a team, are they banged up? Are they healthy? Are they hot? Are they cold?
Bellinger struck out both times so far tonight. There's Chris Hatcher getting ready.
If everybody can do their job down in the bullpen and nothing gets spiraled out of control, maybe one inning out of a few different players will give them their minimal workload and be ready for tomorrow or the next day.
That's a missile to right. Gonzalez turns and watches it bang off the wall. Bellinger on his way to second with a leadoff double here in the 6th. Good to see. Cody didn't have much to show for anything so far tonight before this bullet.
A couple of strikeouts before this and kind of collapsing. This one he stays together, keeps his balance, gets the bat right on the plane of the baseball and whacks it.
So up comes Chris Taylor, who is 0 for 2. Jeff Hoffman, 7 Ks over the first 3 innings, none since. Lanky 24-year-old right-hander out of Latham, New York. Here's the first one. Taylor can't lay off. Strike one. Mentioned that he was projected to go in the top 3 in the draft before he had the Tommy John a couple months before the 2014 draft. He said that he had 2 goals. First one was to go #1 overall. That didn't happen because of the surgery. His other goal was to make it to the majors within 2 years of being drafted. He accomplished that second one, despite not pitching for a full year after the draft because of the Tommy John recovery. Now they did 2. Threw a ton from the time that he was a high schooler when he was undrafted. Went to East Carolina weighing only 165 pounds. They nicknamed him Bones. He was 195, 200 by the time that he finished there. Had a mid-90s fastball. Really jumped onto radars when he was named the top prospect in the Cape Cod League. 3 straight sliders get Taylor for the first out in the 8th punch-out.
10-1 lead, but taking nothing for granted. Attacking Taylor with the breaking ball. Taylor, to start the at-bat, thought, oh, he's got to come fastball. He's way ahead. He didn't come with any.
So now it's Utley. Chase has reached in 5 of his last 8 times up. 4 hits and a walk. And looks at a fastball that splits the plate. First career hit came against the Rockies. A grand slam when he was playing for the Phillies. RBI chance with Bellinger at second. Here comes Hoffman. 1-1. Mentioned that sim game that he volunteered to hit in yesterday from Brandon McCarthy. He even said after the game last night, his first multi-hit game of the year, how important that was for him seeing the ball as well as he did last night. 2-1. That was 6 extra at-bats. If you consider the sim game a game for him, and you know he did. So he had already had 6 ABs going into the game last night. That afternoon.
It'd be like DHing in game 1. Your team did well. You got 6 at bats, and then you come and play game 2.
Right. On 2-1, Utley corks a fly ball to right center field. Blackman moves back on it. He's at the wall, and it's over his head. Bellinger will score easily. Utley's on his way to third with an RBI triple. And that didn't miss being an inside the park home run by too much. I think Chris Woodward had to legitimately make a decision there.
He has been swinging the bat shorter and more compact and with more power, really connecting the arms and the legs together with his swing now. It's not very loose at all. Blackman makes an effort out there but has to pull up short. That ball hits the padding.
And that ends the night for Hoffman. So an RBI triple for Chase Utley makes it 10-2. Chases Hoffman from the game. Back to Denver in a moment. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the baby back rib burger, only at Carl's Jr. Jordan Lyles getting some work here, and the ERA says that he needs it. A 10-2 game, and his ERA is around 8 as he comes on to face Puig.
Looking to get back on track and has started that way. The last 2 outings have been scoreless, but before that, the last 3 has scored in each of them. But Black trying to find a way for him to get locked in so he can contribute in a bigger way to this bullpen that has been outstanding for the Rockies.
Yasiel's 0 for 2. He's batting with Utley at third and 1 gone. And dribbles this one foul, 1-1.
6th inning, pick up this run 10-3. You still have 7, 8, 9 left. You pick it up with a base hit or a double or a triple if you're Yasiel. you really start to feel like you are climbing back into this game. You got to remember, you're here in the Mile High City. Stranger things have happened.
1-2. Haven't seen him chase that pitch too many times this year, but he does here to fall behind.
Misses this one by a lot.
Same pitch, and he gave that AB away.
Sure did. I mean, a couple different goals going on in his head right now that keeps him hot is get strikes and be able to elevate the ball, hit the ball in the air, and can do either one of those right there.
Austin Barnes now with a man at 3rd and 2 gone. You're talking about weird stuff happening in this ballpark. Crazy comebacks. Remember the Dodgers last August 31st trailed 8-2 and came back to win, and that Toles grand slam. It's a strike on Barnes. Deficit in this one was 10-0 when Ryu left the game after 4. Dodgers getting a run in the 5th on a Van Slyke homer, and Utley knocking one home here in the 6th with a triple. Now Barnes drives a ball to left center field, and that'll get over Desmond's head to make it 10-3. Austin Barnes an RBI double.
The Dodgers just might take a shot at their best comeback of the year here tonight. Their largest comeback this year has been from down 4 runs. This would more than double that. But they are showing some life.
Still a long ways to go, but I'm curious to know what the biggest comeback in franchise history is. Got our staff on that.
We have a staff?
Well, you know what I mean.
Oh, wow.
I do. I haven't shared them with you yet.
Oh, thank
you. Keep
you.
working at it, buddy.
Okay.
One on Van Slyke.
Shoot. You're holding stuff back from me. We have a staff.
We've got Mike Levy and Dustin Denty in the gang in the truck.
Do they know they're called staff?
Here's the 1-0. And Slyke drills one in the air to left center, but got under it some. And Desmond will catch it to put an end to the inning. Dodgers get 2. It's 10-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. For the Dodger calendar, brought to you by 76. 3 more in this series, then 3 with the Giants as the Dodgers try to solve San Francisco. San Francisco's only won 12 games this year. 4 of them, though, have been against the Dodgers in their 7 meetings. Good chance, as Alana told us, we see Rich Hill on Tuesday making his return after his 5 no-hit innings in his rehab game last night. Here's Chris Hatcher, 3rd Dodger pitcher.
Well, Chris out there to post a 0, give the offense some time to get back in this game still. 3 more innings, 9 more outs on the offensive side. Feeling like there's a little bit of energy over there. We saw Utley score and some subdued high fives in the dugout. They know there's still a long way to go, but Cody Bellinger has contributed to the fact that they are closer.
Brett Eibner's in the game in left field, and that shifts Cody Bellinger over to first. Pat Valaika, bottom third of the Rockies order here in the 6th inning. Patrick gets strike 1. Game 2 tomorrow night. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, Tyler Chatwood for the Rockies. It's also 5:40 start time in LA. Hot shot to third. Chris Taylor picks it off, and Blake is the first out of the inning. Game 3 is Saturday. Alex Wood tries to build off another great outing, facing Tyler Anderson, who the Dodgers have owned and who has really struggled overall this year. At a 6.69 ERA. Was in line to start this one, but they shifted him back, get him a couple extra days of rest. And then Sunday, it's Julio Urias for the Dodgers, and as Antonio Senzatella character for the Rockies. Dodgers yet to see in 2 series, but the rookies 5-1, tied with Clayton Kershaw for the most wins in the National League. Ryan Hannigan, 1-0.
Sometimes then they move your start back 2-3 days like that. It's not always about rest. Sometimes it's about you just had a side work and the pitching coach comes back to the manager and the front office and says, side work's still not there yet. He needs more time to fix this. If you want to give him more time, maybe we want to push him back, not a whole rotation, but just enough so I can get another side work with him. Things are starting to come around. So some people think it might be tenderness. Some think of mental rest. Some people think, oh, they're looking for a different opposition to put him in a better place to win. And sometimes it is about just a little more time to maybe fix something mechanically.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1. We talked about it during the pregame show tonight, but the Dodgers putting Kenta Maeda on the 10-day DL with left hamstring soreness. Dave Roberts said before the game something that he felt a few weeks ago. A 2-1. That's ball 3 on Hannigan. So the question becomes, well, why now? And look, Dave Roberts said because of the depth we have, you kind of have to, and this second part, you said, you kind of have to redefine what calls for a DL stint.
Well, everybody plays hurt. Everybody has something nagging.
Fly ball to right center. It's Puig.
And all of a sudden, the time period is 10 days. You can move from being hurt to being injured and go on the DL, and especially when there are healthy guys that can come in and do a better job. So the difference on a roster when it's a 15-day DL or even longer is, am I being hurt just as good as the next guy? Well, there might not be a next guy up, and the Dodgers have so many guys that are high quality and healthy that when you are just nagging or hurt, you're now injured.
Jordan Lyles hits for himself, takes ball 1 from Hatcher.
I said Maeda had been dealing with a little bit of this for a while. Remember, we had Rich Hill down with blister. We had Ryu go down with the hip. We've had McCarthy. We've had all different kinds of issues in the rotation. But now all of a sudden they all got healthy all at once. Well, now it's like, who's the weakest link? You know, who's semi-hurt, who's hurt? And it's not breaking or bending any of the rules. It's just like, it's a benefit to knowing it's only 10 days.
2-1, and you may look at it and say, well, the Dodgers are doing this way more than everybody else. That's a product of the depth that they have in starting pitching right now. And you said it, you're not breaking any rules or bending any rules by doing it.
Legitimately, we could go player by player on the field right now for both teams, and they will all show you their medical history of lately, what they're getting treated. They're all getting treated for something.
Hard hit by Lyles and a base hit. Let's go down to Alana.
Well, I asked Dave Roberts about the outside perception, perhaps, that this rule of the 10-day DL for guys doesn't necessarily apply to the ace Clayton Kershaw. And he said, you know what, to your point, guys, you'd have to redefine what constitutes a DL stint. He also said none of the other pitchers that they're asking to go on the DL because of various injuries have the resume that Clayton Kershaw has. Clayton Kershaw is not a fan of a 6-man rotation. He's not a fan necessarily of extra rest. He also has 3 Cy Young Awards, almost 4, and an MVP to his credit. Dave Roberts said, you know, the other guys don't necessarily have that resume. We have to be able to massage the roster and injuries as we see fit.
Charlie Blackmon taking a strike.
These decisions in baseball were made all the time. They're just made a little bit more often because it's a shorter time period.
0-2. Do you think there will be an adjustment to?
I don't know if it'll be necessary. I think that's up to baseball.
Yeah.
I just think it's something you get used to, and you know that it's possible, and you're doing the best thing you can to win. I don't even see it as controversial. I just see it as new.
Blackmon down swinging, and a scoreless inning of relief for Chris Hatcher out of the late innings at Coors Field.
Looking for a cool way to keep the sun out of your child's eyes? Bring them to Dodger Stadium at 1:10 on Sunday, May 21st, when the boys in blue will face the Marlins. The first 12,000 kids 14 and under will receive their own set of Dodgers sunglasses, compliments of New Balance. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
On to the 7th. Let's see if the Dodgers can take a chunk out of this 7-run deficit, with the top of the order coming up against a guy in Jordan Lyles that has struggled to get guys out this year.
After you get those sunglasses, you can come find the Dodgers here in Colorado, because it's always sunny here.
Sunshine State. Ball one. Strikeout, walk, single for Peterson tonight. Back-to-back game sitting leadoff with Toles out. That's the plan for now, is to have Jock be the leadoff man against right-handed pitching. A 1-0. Drifts away, 2 balls and no strikes. 2 more right-handed pitchers as far as starters go in this series the Dodgers will see tomorrow and Sunday. The lone left-handed starter will be Tyler Anderson Saturday.
A pop-up on 2-0. In short left center, Desmond calls off the infielders and puts it away. So one gone for Corey Seager. Ball one. And so the largest comeback in franchise history, and again, we're not trying to spin this as if they're coming back here, but as you start to think about it, largest one in franchise history is 8. They trailed this game 10-0. Seager shakes one inside the bag. That's a fair ball down the line. Corey will make the turn and head into second with a double. 1950, they erased an 8-run deficit against St. Louis. And this one was 10-0.
The largest comeback is only 8 runs?
Doesn't it seem like it'd be larger?
Oh, yes. The history of the franchise?
That goes
LA
back
only?
No, back to 1912. That's as far back as they have that tracked.
Wow. That seems low. I would have taken the over.
Me too. Steve Foster, the pitching coach, out to talk with Lyles. May 18th, 1950. 1-9-8 after trailing 8-0 in the bottom of the 8th. They were still down 8-0 in that game. Now, the second note that I'm seeing here in this research, and this comes from Stats Inc. This one seems even more unbelievable, but the largest comeback since the team moved to LA, 6.
Really?
10 times, including in this ballpark last year, August 31st. Brett Eibner fouls back the first one. That's shocking.
It is shocking to me, too. Can we put your staff on the largest Rockies comeback in history? That would kind of put in perspective with this ballpark. You would think they've come back from at least 10 or 12 runs.
Eibner goes up the middle, backhand play, DJ LeMahieu, and he gets him from his knees.
DJ LeMahieu, great hands. My favorite part of this play, though, is the throw. Just understanding the timing and just kind of lob it over there. Ball's hit so hard, I've got plenty of time. Eibner makes a great swing, gets robbed, but big league second baseman makes it look easy.
So 2 gone for Bellinger. Pounded a double off the wall his last time up and scored the Dodgers' second run of the day. Takes ball 1, stopped by Hannigan.
That is really odd. 6 and 8. 6 for LA. And overall 8.
It's one of those when you do a math equation and it comes out and you look at it and you redo the equation a few times. There's no way. 1-1. Largest deficit overcome in Rockies history. You're asking about that. 9. They've done that twice.
Well, that brings the Dodger one right in line almost.
Sure does.
This ballpark has 50% of their games, and their largest comeback still only 9.
A 1-1. Foul tipped, 1-2.
I guess we got to ask then, what's the largest comeback in baseball history?
Exactly where I was going.
We're going to go right down the line. The staff is tired. I just got into my ear.
A 1-2, and Bellinger takes it 2-2.
Joe is typing away on his computer to try and find the largest comeback ever before the staff. It's a race.
Bellinger strikes out swinging. And the Dodgers leave a man at third. We stretch in Denver in a 10-3 game. Time now for the game summary, brought to you by Morongo Casino. Jeff Hoffman 5 1/3. He fans 8. Gave up 3 earned runs, but had a ton of run support. 2 in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the fourth for the Rockies in this one, in a 10-3 game as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
A lot of 2-out thunder for those Rockies to really get this game spread apart.
And a big bouncer to Chase Utley off of the bat of DJ LeMahieu for the first out of the inning.
Were you in that second when it started to explode? He had only down 2-0 and 2 out, 2 men on. Looked like he was going to get him in the dugout. It was going to be a close game still, but it just blew up in their face.
TK's in the game at short. So I've got the biggest comebacks ever.
Okay.
12 runs. It's the biggest deficit ever erased. And it's happened twice. Nolan Arenado with the bases empty and 1 gone. Takes ball 1. 1925. It's the first time the Indians had a 14-2 lead, and they had a 15-3 lead. They lost the game to Philadelphia 17-15. 1-1. And then it happened again 2001, and I remember this one. One of the greatest regular season teams ever, the Seattle Mariners, had a 12-run lead on the Indians, and it disappeared. The Indians came back and won that game. It was 12-0. It was 14-2 Mariners in the 7th. A team that had 8 All-Stars on it had a 12-run lead, and the Indians came back and won it. Arenado follows it off, and it's 2-2.
We still got a chance to write some Dodger history here. Surpass the LA and the franchise record. Still hard for me to believe 6 and 8 runs down are the LA record. That was 10 times 6 down.
Yep.
8. Wow.
To go back to 1950 to find that 8-run comeback. Chris Hatcher comes home, and Arenado goes after one that was up, fouls it back. Nolan Arenado, 26 years old, 5th major league season. Down the right field line, that's peeling towards the line and just fair. Arenado into second with a 1-out double.
You got your 50-degree wedge, you got your 54-degree wedge. This is a lob wedge for sure. Open face, just kind of cut inside it, and he just hits it perfect.
Arenado's 3rd hit of the night. 4th time he's been on, and he scored each of the first 3 times that he reached base. Now it's Mark Reynolds. Speaking of golf, Reynolds said that he knew he was due to have a good season because his golf swing was awful this offseason, and it's usually in direct correlation. Swing and a miss, strike 1. When the golf swing's really good, he said he's tended to struggle early in the year, but when he's hacking it all over the place, tends to get off the good starts with his baseball swing. Tongue in cheek.
Odd way to project your season.
It's 0-2. It's known as an inverse relationship, right?
Don't ask me.
Come on, Bowling Green.
I'm right there with you. If he knows he can see the ball and he knows that he can swing hard, it's just getting the barrel on it.
Hatcher gets him on 3 pitches, and the golf game just got a little bit better. Hatcher trying to work a pair of scoreless innings. The bullpen already has. Fields dealt 1. Hatcher's dealt 1. And a runner at second with 2 gone for Ian Desmond. Strike 1. I was reading about Desmond today. Had a really bad season 2 years ago in Washington, and there was this crushing story in there about him going home to his 3 young sons during that season. One of them was old enough to finally be a big baseball fan and constantly emulating swings, but mimicking everybody's swing but his. And he said it just crushed him. It was the worst part of that 2015 season, was going home and his 4-year-old son saying, "Look, Dad, I'm Bryce Harper. Look, Dad, I'm Yunel Escobar. Look, Dad, I'm Ryan Zimmerman."
Wow.
Yeah, you kind of half laugh at it, but he was legitimately just really thrown by that. Happy to report it's no longer like that. These kids all pretend to be him now. 1-2. Sarasota, Florida native. Ian Desmond, 31 years old. Behind Hatcher, 1-2. And here he comes. Ball 2. Good take, full count.
Hatcher's been very efficient. Got a chance to get out here. Only 30 pitches with that bloop double. Throwing the ball really well.
And he gets it by Desmond to finish the Rockies in the 7th. Couple of scoreless innings of relief for Chris Hatcher.
MLB.com at Bat is your #1 mobile app for live Dodger baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Dodger home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat today.
Strike one on Chris Taylor to get this 8th inning going. Joe Davis or Hershiser. And a lot of Rizzo here in Denver. First of 4 in this series and the first of 7 on this trip. Chris looking for his first hit in a couple days. Jordan Lyles in his 3rd inning of relief, home with an 0-1. Strike 2. Lyles, a former football player. He was a star wide receiver in high school. You can see with a long athletic frame, but he committed to play football at South Carolina. Taylor on the ground, kicked off the mound is short, and thrown out by Maleka. He decided to go the baseball route when the Astros took him in the 1st round. Lyles made his major league debut when he was 20. Traded to Colorado for Dexter Fowler a few years back. Things have kind of unraveled as far as his highly touted status. Now working as a long man out of the Rockies bullpen and trying to discover his rhythm in that role. Now it's Utley. Strike 1. Silver lining tonight, I suppose, Chase's continued hot streak.
Sure is. Looks really good. You don't look at the bottom line. You look at what he's done lately, how he's looked at the plate in the last week. More like the Chase Utley of 2016, that's for sure.
And another base hit, his 3rd of the game. 6 for his last 9 now. At his first multi-hit game of the season last night, has his first 3-hit game of the season tonight. And he'll continue to be an important piece with a trickle down from Toles being out. Spent Bellinger has slid back to the outfield for the time being. Before Forsythe comes back, there are 2 spots to fill on the right side of the infield as a result. Inside on Puig, ball 1. Taylor's taken a lot of the at-bats at second, but you have an opening at first. And as long as Chase keeps hitting how he has the last few days, I figure that's his, at least against right-handed pitchers.
Adrian Gonzalez on the slow track as far as getting healthy, but that got sped up when Andrew Toles got hurt. But Chase Utley's bat coming to life to make sure that Adrian is completely ready to come back before he does anything. And we've seen that Chase can really dazzle around that first base bag. Yesterday, some of the plays were amazing.
Softly hit off of the hands to short. Maleka gets 1 at second, and that's all. So Puig is 0 for 4, but aboard here on a fielder's choice.
It was a jam shot. Really no chance with Yasiel speed to get 2 here. Just cruising down there, just making sure he makes it.
Austin Barnes, another guy that's looked good lately. RBI double his last time up. Won the game with a double on Tuesday night. Takes inside from Lyles, ball 1.
Remember last year when Austin Barnes got to the big leagues, looked like he was trying to get 3 hits in 1 at bat. Game has really slowed down for him now. Secure in his role that he's a big leaguer. More and more comfortable.
Exactly 20 games in the majors, each of the last 2 years. On the opening day roster this time around. A 2-0. Ball 3. Grant Dayton. That backs up. Ball 4. 2 on for the Dodgers with 2 out. And Yasmani Grandal coming to the plate. Hannigan out for a visit with Lyles as the red-hot Yasmani Grandal makes a pinch hit appearance here. With one swing, could make this thing pretty darn interesting.
Get you within a grand slam. And that is an uncomfortable place for a manager after you've had a 10-0 lead. So they would love to make Bud Black uncomfortable on the Rocky side.
First one. Ball 1. Back-to-back 3-hit games for Yasmani. That's included a home run. As Puig at second and Barnes at first with 2 away in the 8th. 2-0. And Steve Foster comes out.
They've got some action in their bullpen, so it's just a little bit of a delay to get ready for somebody for Jock Peterson. Oberg has been a big integral part of their pen. Holland at the end, and Dunn and Ottavino, and Oberg has thrown the ball well.
Fasten your seatbelts for this 2-0 pitch.
Yasmani got on this hot streak after a short conversation with Dave Roberts about pitch selection. You might feel good, you might be swinging it good, but you got to get strikes.
To left, back goes Desmond, still going. It's off the wall, and it ricochets by him to score 2. Grandal with a pinch hit 2-run double, and it's a 10-5 game.
So you're saying they've got a chance. But Black figuring out what he's going to do to find another out this inning. Yasmani doing everything he can to extend it with this blast to left field. It really came close to going out of here. Halfway up the wall. 2 out RBIs. Chalk up 2 more.
Top of the order again, but Bud Black's going to make a change. Dodgers getting 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 more here in the 8th. And with the top of the order coming up, Black goes back into his bullpen. So it could be a double switch. Well, you can't help but think back to all the 2-out runs the Rockies scored. Their first 7 outs in this game came with 2 out, or their 7 runs in this game came with 2 out. Par the position player side of the double switch that'll bring Scott Oberg into a 10-5 game. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich only at Jack in the Box. Scott Oberg comes on. The Dodgers have cut a 10-0 deficit in half. 10-5 now in the 8th inning, and he's on to face the left-handed batting Jock Peterson with a man at second and 2 gone.
Had one really bad outing in Washington where he gave up an awful lot of runs. The whole bullpen and pitching staff got killed by the Washington Nationals earlier this year. 42 runs and 3 losses. That really padded their pitching stats. Other than that, Oberg has been very good.
So a right-hander brought on to face Peterson, but he has been a little bit harder against lefties than he has against righties this year. Here's his first one. And Jock fouls off a fastball at 97, strike 1. That is a tiny sample size against lefties, so hard to say that he's a reverse splits guy, even though the numbers say factually that he is. That's with Grandal at second and 2 gone. And waits on Oberg's 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. About how good the Rockies bullpen has been this year, but Lyle's the man the Dodgers just pounced on, and Oberg not necessarily a part of that when you look into the bigger picture of the numbers. It's a ball. It's 2-1. Dodgers get another run or two, and it won't take long before they see the pieces that have defined this bullpen success.
Ottavino, Dunn, and Holland.
Yeah. And that would be a minor victory in itself if the Dodgers could force Bud Black to use those guys in this 4-game series opener. A 2-1 in the dirt, ball 3 with Corey Seager waiting on deck. I beg your pardon, Kike Hernandez on deck, having come in earlier. That's what happens in a 10-0 game, though. You start unloading the bench, and several of the regulars out at this point.
Justin Turner got a chance to get off his legs. Corey Seager off of his.
3-1. Bounce back to the mound. Oberg knocks it down and throws him out. But the Dodgers get 2 more. It's 10-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Carlos Gonzalez ready to lead off this inning. He's doubled his hit total for the month of May in this game, and he's our Lexus player of the game.
He's swatting it around today like he knew what he was doing. And it's the Carlos Gonzalez of old. We saw a resurgence of Chase Utley in the last week or so. Carlos Gonzalez is starting to find his swing, and that is good news for the Rocky offense.
Valleca and Hannigan to follow here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Three-time All-Star, most recently last season. He'll face off with Grant Dayton.
Back-to-back days on the mound. Got a couple of outs to end the game yesterday and finish off the sweep against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Got his first win of his career against the Phillies this year. He was reinstated off the DL.
Dayton starts him with a whistling fastball that's up, ball one. By the way, in Arizona, Zach Greinke has a no-hitter through 7 against the Pirates. It's fouled off, and it's 1-1. And that, after seeing the Pirates for a few days, is not that surprising.
They look very anemic in offense. They've had a lot of injuries, suspensions, a guy who can't get back in the country. So that's a pretty weak offensive roster.
Greinke's thrown 90 pitches, if you're wondering, through 7. Dribbled foul, and it's 1-2. It's funny, actually, on the way out last night, I saw a Pirates person and said to him, man, I only can go uphill from here for you guys, huh? I hope that things turn around for your season. And he jokingly said, well, you got a chance to see a no-hitter any night. Well, wouldn't you know it, the next night through 7, it's happening. 2-2.
Zach keeps his pace up. He's on a pace to throw 114. I think they'll let him do that.
Full count. He chases what would have been ball 4 and is the first out here in the 8th inning.
Carlos was guessing strike and just starting the bat early. He's striding before even Grant lets go of the ball. Almost a foot almost landed.
The kiss of death, giving a man the Lexus player of the game before he's finished.
One of the great baseball jinxes.
Yes. One gone for Valleca. Dayton starts him with an off speed. It's in there for a strike.
Nice little flip curveball in there from Grant, who relies on the fastball mainly, but using this opportunity in a 5-run deficit, last possible inning, just to work on something.
Quickly 0-2 and back to the fastball there.
Not a bad place to try and bounce a breaking ball. Trying to bring that pitch along could help you in a key situation later on. Good time to practice it. You're always looking for counts and situations where you can work on something to make yourself better. You don't want to do it in high leverage situations when the team's depending on you. Development of a third pitch, working on a new grip, trying to bring it in from the bullpen where it's working there, but you haven't brought it into a game yet.
Kenta Maeda, what a night last night for him. 8 1/3. He never before pitched into the 8th inning. Those gumballs.
Oh no, I know he's not playing marbles.
Valleca down swinging on a pitch that was in the dirt as Dayton went to that curve again.
Like it. Show them something different. Even in this series, 4-game series, show the bench, show their roster that you have a breaking ball. You might get some guys out with fastballs in game 3 or game 4 when they're thinking you might pull the trigger on that one.
Bases empty with 2 gone for Ryan Hannigan as Dodger relievers have struck out 4 consecutive Rockies. Strike 1. So baseball player is Ryan Hannigan's main job, but he has a side business as well, home in Lexington, Kentucky. He breeds horses. Inside, it's 1-1. He also shows dogs. There's an Australian Shepherd named Vivian that won Best of Breed at the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show a few years back. Dayton throws him a 1-1. Hannigan pops it up. Long run for Bellinger, still going. Can't make the play. 1-2.
It's a nice effort by Cody. Well, interesting how he figures it out with the curve. He might have overran it, so to put the brakes on, instead of trying to stop with his feet, he just goes into a pop-up slide. One bounce doesn't count.
They'll be due up 3rd in the 9th inning for the Dodgers. Down 5 in a game that they once trailed 10-0. 10 runs charged to Hyun-Jin Ryu. Career high allowed for him. The 1 foul, do the 1-2 again. Hannigan played Division II baseball, Rollins College in Florida, where he was a philosophy major. He's ready for another 1-2. Barnes wants it down, and Dayton gets it there. Another breaking ball, and it's 2-2.
Thrown 3 of those this inning. He's got the high fastball, hopefully the low and away fastball. If he can come up with the breaking ball for a strike and in the dirt, just expands his whole arsenal. Be able to slow hitters down and speed them up.
Now a 2-2. Hannigan bounces it to second. Utley's got it with a backhand and throws him out to finish the inning. On to the 9th. Dodgers trying to make some magic.
And Dodgers have scored the last 5 in a 10-5 game. On to the 9th inning. Kike Hernandez will lead it off. 2, 3, and 4 in the order. Eibner and Bellinger to follow.
On the dugout of the Dodgers, you're saying, okay, hey, here we go. Let's give him a finish. Let's go. And you hope that Kike Hernandez can be the one that keeps that chant going. You're looking for anything positive to start off the inning. Get on base, get something going. Make the Rockies get their bullpen up at least.
So the first one comes home, and Kike's behind it. Strike one. Gregory Polanco has hit his first home run of the season for the Pirates to break up Greinke's no-hitter, because you and I talked about it.
We're capable of long-distance jinxes, too. I love it. We have such power.
That ball's ripped to left, and it will sail over Parra's head. Hernandez leads off with a double here in the 9th inning.
Okay, here we go. Picks on a high fastball on the inner half, stays on top of it, hits a line drive with it.
Eibner hit it hard his first time, but a nice play at second from DJ LeMahieu. Took a hit from him. Stirring down in that Rockies pen. Nobody warming yet. Nobody throwing yet, I should say. That's low for ball one. Two and out.
Brett gets on. They're going to start talking about in the dugout about trying to get the tying run to the plate. Keep the line moving. Everybody just looking for a way to reach safely. Any way you can.
And no strikes.
Yeah, any way you can, Joe.
You know, there's the phrase, crazier things have happened. Well, truthfully, no, they haven't.
That's true.
The largest comeback in franchise history is 8 runs. This was 10-0 at one point. Strike one. Greg Holland has started to warm down in the Rockies bullpen. The closer who leads all of baseball in saves so far. That's a small victory on a night where you trailed 10-0. Inside corner, 3-2.
You can't offer it that pitch. I mean, this is a pitcher's pitch, and you're down by 5, and you're looking for any way to get on. That's just, you tip your hat, and you battle right here, 3-2.
So now the payoff from Oberg. Eibner fouls it off and will do another. 98 on the gun from Oberg that time. Eibner, the former Royal, the former A, made his major league debut last year. Second stint with the Dodgers this season. Hitting with Hernandez at second and nobody out here in the 9th. Oberg ready for another 3-2. And a line drive, base hit to left center. Hernandez will score on an RBI single from Brett Eibner. 10-6 now.
Holland will start throwing in earnest now down in the bullpen because of this 3-2 breaking ball. Eibner stays on enough. Doesn't actually get it on the complete barrel, but has enough bat left to lifted into left center. Don't get doubled up on a line drive. Watch the ball right here. George Lombard saying nowhere to go other than get the second safely. We still got a long way to go in this inning.
So a double from Hernandez and now a single for Eibner, and it's Cody Bellinger to the plate. He can reach. Tying run would be in the on-deck circle. Ball one. 2 in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the fourth for the Rockies. It was 10-0 when Hyun-Jin Ryu left this game. But the Dodgers 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th, and 1 already in the 9th. 2 balls, no strikes on Bellinger. You start to hear some noise out of that Dodger dugout now.
D. Foster coming out. Oberg hasn't walked anybody, but he's surely gotten behind all 3 hitters here in the 9th. Everybody has had a hitter's count. Kike Hernandez. Eibner got a hitter's count, 3-0. Battled all the way back at 3-2, got a hit. And now Cody Bellinger sitting with a 2-0 count. Feeling pretty good about this at bat.
Cody has 1 hit today, doubled off the wall and right, way back in the 6th. And they say way back because this game has crawled along. Both teams with 12 hits. Oberg to Bellinger with a 2-0. Cody swings, bounces one into right field, a base hit. 3 consecutive hits to open the 9th.
Nice coaching by George Lombard, giving all the instructions to Eibner. He was not going to even press Cargo out in right field with this base hit to right. Just go station to station. Don't even think about it. He's already easing up as he cruises into second right there.
And this is now, if Bud Black makes a change, it's turned into a save situation with a tying run on deck. Unreal. He'll call down for Greg Holland. Dodgers trailed the game 10-0. They have 2 on and nobody out in the 9th inning. And the Rockies have to go to their closer. No matter the outcome, it's pretty remarkable what the Dodgers have done tonight. There is no doubt with a roll of the eyes that Bud Black calls down to the bullpen for his closer in a game that he once led 10-0.
14 for 14 in the save opportunities. 10 out of his 15 outings, not even a hit against. See the strikeouts at 19 and only 5 walks, so he is not going to set the table for you. He's going to make you earn it.
Interesting dynamic here is that probably about an hour ago, Holland thought he was getting the night off. And suddenly finds himself in a save situation. 2 on, nobody out. The batter is Chris Taylor. And here comes Holland's first one. Outside for ball line.
No outs in this inning. And if there is not a double play, every time a guy is in the on-deck circle, he will be the tying run.
Here's the 1-0. Taylor pulls a base hit into left field. And Chase Utley comes to the plate, representing the tying run in a game they trailed 10-0. What is happening?
Little breaking ball up slightly in the middle of the plate, and he finds a hole in this Rockies defense. Step and a dive is not enough. Station to station, bases loaded.
And Utley, who is swinging it as well as anybody in a Dodger uniform right now, climbs in there. 2 singles and a triple tonight. Eibner's at third. Bellinger's at second. Taylor's at first. Somehow drama. Ball 1. Utley's not homered this year. First hit of his career was a grand slam against the Rockies. Bounce to second. There's 1 and 2. That takes the air out of it. A run scores. It's 10-7, but suddenly the tying run is just on deck again.
Holland gets him to hit a ground ball. Chase hasn't hit a ball on the ground in a long time. It's been a good week or so when he hasn't found a hole. Takes a little steam out, but it's been quite a comeback so far, and it's not dead yet.
1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and Puig will try and bring the tying run to the plate again. Four consecutive hits to start the inning, but then a double play induced by Holland. Trying to move to 15 for 15 and save opportunities this year to lead the league. Is 1-0. Puig pops it up. Foul ground. It'll reach the seats. Strike 1. Cielo for 4 tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored his last time. If he can reach, Austin Barnes would come up representing the tying run. The 1-1. Ball 2. Out on the former Kansas City Royal. The Rockies got on a bargain deal, taking a chance on a guy coming off Tommy John surgery. So far, That gamble's been as big a part of the story for them and this franchise record start as anything. 22-13, best record through 35 games in franchise history. The 2-1 to Puig. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Would have been ball 3.
You really can't swing at this pitch. If you see ball at all, you are not the tying run. So it's not time to cheat. It's time to get a strike and figure out a way to get on base. LCL's had a tough time picking up the ball all night.
Seen him chase down and away more frequently than maybe any other night this season. The Rockies 1 strike away from sneaking out of here. What a weird night it's been. Hollins 2-2. He got it. Spirited comeback falls short, and the Rockies, after leading 10-0, take the series opener 10-7.
It was close on the swing, and it was a close on the comeback, but the Dodgers go home disappointed back to the hotel. They have 3 more against these Rockies to try and redeem themselves.
For Orr Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Denver. Game 2 tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw takes it with 5:40, the first pitch time in LA. Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers, begins right now.